Good Morning Blues is underwritten by Atlanta Center for Cognitive Therapy. Cognitive therapy is a model of treatment for emotional problems occurring in individuals and relationships. Mark Gilson, Ph.D., the center director, is a former fellow and faculty at the Center at University of Pennsylvania under Aaron T. Beck, M.D. The center psychologists primarily offer telehealth psychotherapy services online with your computer, tablet, or cell phone. For more information, 404-842-0555 or cognitiveatlanta.com.
Funding for this program is made possible by listeners like you and the following sponsors. The Atlanta Jazz Festival returns to Piedmont Park Memorial Day weekend from May 23rd through May 25th. This year's lineup includes Christian McBride and Ursa Major, Donnie the Colored Section, Esperanza Spalding, Destin Conrad, Butcher Brown, Kamasi Washington, The Roots, and PJ Morton. For more information, atljjazzfest.com.
Funding for this program is brought to you by listeners like you and the following sponsor, Radio Free Java, featuring organic fair trade coffee and matcha tea, inspired by the spirit of community radio. More information at wrfg.org. A portion of the proceeds helps support WRFG, your station for progressive information and hand-picked quality music.
Slice of onion and a raw one, draw one.
You're listening to WRFG Atlanta. WRFG provides a voice for those who have been traditionally denied open access to the broadcast media through the involvement of a broad base of community elements to guarantee that access. In the utilization of the station's facilities and in its programs, the following communities will receive first priority: those who continue to be denied free and open access to the broadcast media, and those who suffer oppression or exploitation based upon class, race, sex, age, creed, sexual orientation, disability, or immigrant status.
Good morning, Blues. WRFG Atlanta.
Good morning, Blues. We'll brighten up your day as you put on your shoes. Yeah, yeah. You know it's got to be the way to wake up each and every day on WRFG in Atlanta. Good morning, Blues.
Good morning, Blues.
Good morning, Blues. This is Tony O'Malley on WRFG Atlanta.
Good morning, Blues, part 2, May, the 14th? Wow, halfway through already. It's London to Louisiana. It's a Thursday, which means quite an unusual smorgasbord, perhaps compared to the run-of-the-mill, I would say, blues stuff that I get tired of looking at in charts all over the place. It's the same old, and a lot of the festivals. Sorry, got to say what you think. Got to be yourself. But luckily, I at least dig in different crevices and find a bunch of other stuff that is bluesy, maybe with a tinge of jazz, funk, soul, whatever, but mostly transatlantic. So, and it's funny, I've been thinking a lot currently because I'm heading off to Europe for June, but I will be going just to London only in September for the first 2 weeks. And I am really looking forward to it. I used to go more frequently back when I was working and had things like money. I don't even have a car anymore. How about that? I've been on my bicycle for a month now. I actually don't have a problem with it. I think about the money I'm saving. $4.50 a gallon, give me a break. My insurance would be due next week for 6 months, $1,100. And I've got the cleanest license and I'm ancient. So the cost of insurance in Georgia is staggering. but not my problem anymore. So there you go. Yes, very much on my mind, hoping to catch up with lots of people while I'm over there. And it's one of those things where you can't help but think about it, even though it's still quite a ways away. But interestingly, I've got some excellent stories and connections, things that I can thread for you of a 70s interest coming up later in the show, which includes I am going to replay something I've carefully edited from cassette. An interview I did with the fabulous Donovan back in 2005, January 2005, so over 20 years ago. He's a very excitable chap and a very intense discussion. He's very switched on, and it's his 80th birthday, so we need to do that. But you'll see how it all unfolds. About 8:45, very cool. He's not on for too long, about 20 minutes, and the music, and just be very interesting. But meanwhile, we need to head down to New Orleans and catch up on music of the New Orleans nature. And I'll tell you why I didn't go to Jazz Fest. But first, as I'm not going till September, and I missed James Brown's 93rd birthday last week, been gone 20 years, isn't that crazy? We need to start here.
Oh, it's a long time from May to December, but the days grow short, can't you count it now? When you reach September, when the autumn weather turn, get hot, leaves to flame. One hasn't got time, one ain't, by the waiting game. Hear me now. Yeah! The days will down to a precious few. September going up, November. These precious days, I'll spend with you overnight. These precious days, let me spend it with you. Come on, yeah, swing on, feel the groove. September, bringing up November. Hey, these precious days, a little while I spend with you overnight. These precious days, yeah, I'll spend
won't you fill me up? Put a little something in my cup while I'm down in New Orleans.
I feel the bass, never see the sun. People dancing, having fun. The band playing and the music's right. I said, doctor, won't you fill me up? Put a little something in my cup while I'm down in New Orleans.
Help me.
Won't you fill me up? Put a little something in my cup while I'm down in New Orleans.
Oh, what's that like?
What's that like?
Oh, the sun. Somebody calling me back inside. Do I turn around? Do I turn around? Keep walking on. Help me. Down where the waters flow, I so bright with the moonlight glow. Love came in like seas of soul. Trust my heart and now it knows. Sitting under starry skies, holding hand where the river lies. Every step, side by side, our love is redefined. Whether there's sunshine or rain, by your side I will remain. I've always imagined me and you, hand in hand as we explore dancing moments we adore. Every note and love down to the chorus, spirit soar. Louisiana, Louisiana love, stars above, music below, dancing through the night. Louisiana, Louisiana love, softly as we step in time into the sweet divine. Oh. On the bayou, cicada sing, lifting through this endless train. Your eyes I see clear, my place beside you is. Even on a lonely day, by your side I will remain. Through the highs and through the lows, me and you. When the night feels cold and long, I'll be here to keep you strong. Every step is us and true, together nothing left to lose. Through the storm we'll find a way, sun will rise on brighter day. Every note of love down to the chorus, spirit soar. Louisiana, Louisiana love, stars above, music below, dancing through the night. Louisiana, Louisiana love, softly as we step in time into the sweet divine. Oh.
On Friday, May 15th, Amy Goodman of Democracy Now! Will be coming to the Terra Theater in Atlanta for a screening of Steal This Story, Please, the new documentary film that chronicles her extraordinary life, committed to truth-seeking through journalism and taking on soldiers, politicians, and corporate media. As an extension of her generosity and support for community and progressive radio stations, WRFG will be hosting a meet and greet with Amy Goodman before the film. You can visit wrfg.org to purchase your tickets today. The $50 price includes admission for the screening, the pre-show meet and greet with Amy, and a signed movie poster. And of course, it all goes to your favorite community radio station, WRFG Radio Free Georgia, 89.3 FM. For more information, visit our website at wrfg.org.
The following is a public service announcement brought to you by one of WRFG's 501c3 supporters. The Kirkwood Neighbors Organization presents the 23rd Annual Kirkwood Spring Fling Festival and Tour of Homes on Saturday, May 16th at Bessie Brenham Park, located at 2051 Delano Drive in Atlanta. The Spring Fling features live music, art, food, kids' activities, a 5K road race, the Wing Fling competition, and a tour of homes in the historic Kirkwood neighborhood. The event day kicks off with a 5K road race at 8 a.m., followed by the Spring Fling Festival and tour of homes in the historic Kirkwood neighborhood, both starting at noon. All events will take place rain or shine, and some require tickets. Proceeds from the Kirkwood Spring Fling Festival and tour of homes will be reinvested into the Kirkwood neighborhood to support local schools, parks, and community programs. For tickets and more information, the website is kirkwoodfling.com. That's KIRKWOODFLING.com.
I'ma sing my song. Hold 'em, Joe.
moving way too slow. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, let go. Don't let go. I don't know where to go. I want to know. Way too slow.
We kicked off that little collection, James Brown's September song, because yes, it's a long way from May till September where I will get to go home. My favorite of the two albums he did with the Louis Bellson Orchestra, just great lush strings. It doesn't all have to be sweaty, greasy stuff, you know. You can put a little class in the groove there. Followed by wonderful new artist Robin Barnes with Ivan Neville and a bunch of other luminaries down there in New Orleans with Dr. D-O-A-C-T-A-H, Doctor, and Louisiana Love, which is the title of her album. There's just something cool about all the different Cajun New Orleans mixes of things in there. It's not one thing, it's lots of things. And then finally, the New Orleans Nightcrawlers with Craig Klein doing Hold'em Joe. Let's get into some of the 70s tricks and connections and interesting things to celebrate for a little bit. We'll have Donovan coming up at around about 8:45, and that should be super interesting to reconnect. What we were talking about there was an album that had just come out called Beat Café, and he was on the island of Paros in Greece writing his book. But he's a super great, interesting interview. Let's start with this song, which a lot of people don't realize was him. First Cut is the Deepest, done by Rod Stewart, done by so many people. And America had a different list than England did. But it was written by Cat Stevens. And he just came out and said, to remind everybody, you know, this was mine. And he did it live for NPR. So we're going to kick off with that. We're going to celebrate 60 years of Waterloo Sunset, the absolutely mega central Kinks driving everything London you can think of. Ray Davies is the poet laureate of London music. And a collaboration with David Bowie, not many people know about, reasons to put that on. A cover of I Can't Stop Loving You, which was from around 1958, Don Gibson, country player, then made famous by, what was his name? Ray Charles, has been reissued by Mick Clarke from Killing Floor, and I'll tell you more about him. Let's play the music.
Press the button on that one, by the way. This is an old one. Maybe some people don't know I wrote this one. It wasn't Rod Stewart. I would have given you all of my heart, but there's someone who's torn it apart. And she's taken almost all that I've got. But if you won't, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse. But when it comes to being loved, she's first. That's how I know first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know first cut is the deepest. I still want you by my side, just to help me dry the tears that I've cried. 'Cause I'm sure gonna give you a try. And if you won't, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know first cut is the deepest. First cut is the deepest. Baby, I know first cut is the deepest. 'Cause when it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse. But when it comes to being loved, she's first. That's how I know first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know first cut is the deepest.
This is Marcus Malone on the other side of the Atlantic in jolly London, England. You're listening to my top mate, UK Bob, playing the best of British blues on WRFG Atlanta. What a way to start the day. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is Mick Clarke.
And this is Bill Thornycroft from Killing Floor, London, UK, Europe.
You're listening to UK Bob on Good Morning Blues, 89.3 FM, WRFG Atlanta.
Make that guitar smoke, Mick.
Yeah.
stop loving you. I've made up my mind to live in memory of the lonesome kind. I can't stop wanting you, as the useless to sing. The wild just live my life, yeah, in dreams of yesterday. Those happy hours that we once knew, though long ago, they still make me blue. Now they say the time heals a broken heart. Yeah, but time stood still since we've been apart. Well, I can't stop loving you. Yeah, I've made up my mind to live in memory of the lonesome kind. Yeah, I can't stop wanting you. That's useless to say, so I'll just live my life. Live my life in dreams of yesterday. Yeah.
Sleep all the morning, go and get my fun.
Stevens and his most recent cover of First Cut is the Deepest, reminding everyone that he wrote that. He did it live on NPR, a nice, soft, gentle rendition, followed by David Bowie, absolutely putting his DNA into one of London's great songs, Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks, celebrating 60 years of that song. Still absolute classic for me, and it represents everything I love about being home. Quickly followed by an excellent rendition by Mick Clarke of I Can't Stop Loving You. And I think I mentioned Don Gibson was a country singer who had a hit with that in like 1958, somewhere around there. But anyway, that, if you look back, look up Mick Clarke, he's still putting things out there, has done for years. I'd say twice a year I get tracks or singles or albums from him. Killing Floor was a brilliant, bold British blues band back in the 60s. And he's still rocking and he plays everything. So well done, Mick. It's good that people don't walk away sooner than they need to. There are some that should have walked away and haven't, let me tell you. And then finally, to celebrate a great, great singer and a terrific band that I know more, the wonderful, wonderful Dr. Feelgood featured Lee Brillo, who sadly died of throat cancer, must be 20 years ago. One of their great songs, Going Back Home, it's one of their albums. That was Wilko Johnson, one of the original band members of Dr. Feelgood, who also sadly passed, with Roger Daltrey of The Who. They did an album together where there were several covers of Dr. Feelgood. That's why that came around. So that covers that little patch of connections and versions and whatever. Haven't heard a blues orchestra in a while. You're about to, and I think it's very worthy. You're also going to hear a brand new release from the John Pagano band, who used to play here a lot. I think did he used to live here, I think? I don't remember now. The fabulous British blues singer Joe Harman got together with Michael McDonald, and a few things like that before we get to Donovan.
Tell you about a girl I know. She's my baby and she lives next door. Every morning when the sun comes up, she brings me coffee in my favorite cup. That's why I know, yeah. Hallelujah, I just love her so, yeah. In the evening when the sun goes down and there ain't nobody else around, she kisses me and then she holds me tight, tells me, Daddy, everything's alright. That's why I know, oh yeah. Hallelujah, I just love her so. When I call her on the telephone, tell my baby that I'm all alone. By the time I count from 1, 2, 3, 4, I hear her knocking at my door. When I'm in trouble and I need a friend, I know she'll be with me until the end. Everybody asks me how I know. I look at them, I said she told me so. That's why I know, yeah. Hallelujah, I just love her so. Love my baby so, yeah, yeah. telephone. Tell my baby that I'm all alone. By the time I count from 1 to 4, I hear knocking at my door. In the evening when the sun goes down and there ain't nobody else around, she kisses me and then she holds me tight, tells me, Daddy, everything's alright. That's why I know, hallelujah, I just love her so. Oh yeah, hallelujah, love my baby so. Love my baby so.
The fire's burning and it's out of control. Come set me free. Little one that bring me to my knees. It feels so good when you say that you're mine. But I go crazy 'cause my love is blind. Can't tame this child. Come on, little mama, let's go wild. We're turning up, babe. Wanting more. I got this fever, running round. Fever, up and down. I got this fever, lose control. Baby, turn it up and make this fever grow. I said, baby, what you doing to me? Oh, and I feel it, can feel the heat.
A zine is a homemade print that is produced through non-commercial means. You can make a zine about anything. If you're tired of social media, read zines instead of doom scrolling. Workshop ideas and receive feedback. Create. The WRFG Zine Club meets on the first and third Monday of each month from 6 to 9 p.m. at WRFG in the Harlan Joy Community Room, located at the Little 5 Points Community Center. For more information, the website is wrfg.org/zine.
Yes, you are indeed driving on the left side of the dial. It's the right place for London to Louisiana every Thursday. Should you want to follow my social media, it's on Instagram, UKBob_WRFG. It also means you get stuck with my mad humor as well. Go to YouTube, UKBob007, and you can replay the radio program along with any special tribute mixes I create, plus interviews. Carry on.
Wasn't enough for me.
lovely Miss Jo Harman there, just with J-O. Played her quite a bit over the last few years. A very wonderful, rich, sultry, bluesy voice. Doesn't play too many fast ones. She's more suited to the more sedate in terms of the material, but that one was a lot more bold, with Michael McDonald joining her on the album, as you can tell, voice and piano, called When We Were Young. Before that, it's a brand new single called Fever by the John Pagano Band, and we kicked off with the Simon Currie Blues Orchestra. Now, Simon is the sax player from Manfred Mann from the late 60s, all the hits, and Manfred Mann still is going today. That particular track, Hallelujah, I Love Her So, featured Mike Dobbo, who was the original singer in the Manfreds, who joined in for this. And is still with the band. They played last week. It's insane. It's like, gosh. I was thinking about this when I realized we're also going to play Eric Burden, who is 85 this week. Another one of my heroes. All of my heroes are in their 80s. If they all pop their clogs at once, I'll cry for a year. Talking of which, did you hear Rod Stewart the other day? A clip came out from a hot mic when he was there to meet the King a couple of days ago. And I'm only repeating the commentary because it was hilarious how that got out. It was over TikTok, YouTube, you name it. He quietly thanked the King for giving that rat bag in America a piece of his mind. That's just too much stuff that he gets away with. But yeah, all my heroes are aging. Donovan is 80 this week. It's why he's on. We're doing this interview. Terry Collier is sadly gone. We're going to play him and Madeleine Peru shortly. I've got to bring you down into a jazzy beat club kind of mode to adjust your brain to the thoughts and feelings that Donovan was talking about in Beat Café, which was the last album he and I talked about. And I want it to make more sense. So we're going to musically direct you that way. Now, first, I am going to slip in a Donovan track, one of many very bluesy tracks, but you've not heard this version. The single and the album was a much faster, brighter version of the original song. In fact, there's even one totally acoustic, a quiet one with Donovan with Pete Seeger. We're not doing that one. We're doing the one that kicked it all off. There were no strings, and there are extra backing vocals, and there's an organ in there. This is Donovan and Colors, which is spelt Colous from 1968. I'm just playing.
Yellow is the color of my true love's hair in the morning when we rise. In the morning when we rise, that's the time. That's the time. That's the time. That's the time. I love the best. Color of the sparkling corn in the morning when we rise. In the morning when we rise, that's the time. That's the time. That's the time. That's the time. I love the best. Blue is the color of the sky in the morning when we rise. In the morning when we rise, that's the time. That's the time. That's the time. That's the time. I love the best. Hold it. time when I've been loved. Yellow is the color of my true love's hair in the morning when we rise in the morning when we rise. That's the time. That's the time. That's the time. That's the time I love the best.
So now it is time to get you into a bohemian mood. Having Donovan on the show conjures up all kinds of elements. He'll be talking about Beat Café. He lives his life through music and verbal imagery, and it's excellent stuff. It always had been. He's had a musical life for 60 years. What he's always done, he still does, and it's a very haunting and inventive piece of work. That particular album moved from sultry to swing with his unmistakable, shimmering, intimate voice. Poetry with a seductive groove. And when we're done with this interview from 2005, you'll get to hear what he's doing today. So, please join me.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. This is Little Georgie talking at you from Little Georgie and the Shuffling Hungarians. You are moving and a grooving. You are raising a ruckus and kicking up sand. Right here, right now. From Atlanta, GA to London to Louisiana, you are tuned up and tuned into the Good Morning Blues Show with your host with the most, UK Bob, right here on WRFG 89.3 Radio Free Georgia.
On Friday, May 15th, Amy Goodman of Democracy Now! Will be coming to the Terra Theater in Atlanta for a screening of Steal This Story, Please, the new documentary film that chronicles her extraordinary life, committed to truth-seeking through journalism and taking on soldiers, politicians, and corporate media. As an extension of her generosity and support for community and progressive radio stations, WRFG will be hosting a meet and greet with Amy Goodman before the film. You can visit wrfg.org to purchase your tickets today. The $50 price includes admission for the screening, the pre-show meet and greet with Amy, and a signed movie poster. And of course, it all goes to your favorite community radio station, WRFG Radio Free Georgia 89.3 FM. For more information, visit our website at wrfg.org.
Hey everybody, this is Peter Karp. And when I die, I want to come back as a dolphin. But if I can't come back as a dolphin, I want to come back as UK Bob. The best blues man I know. Snappy dresser, good looking man, knows his music, and plays it on WRFG Atlanta. Good morning blues. I say good morning blues. Good morning blues. Play 'em, Bob.
I've seen love go by my door. It's never been this close before. Never been so easy or so slow. Been shooting in the dark too long. When something's not right, it's wrong. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Dragging clouds so high above, I've only known careless love. It's always hit me from below. This time round it's more correct, right on target, so direct. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Purple clover and queen anne lace, crimson hair across your face. You could make me cry if you don't know. talking back and forth in rhyme. Blue river running slow and lazy. Oh, I could stay with you forever and never realize the time. Situations have ended sad. Relationships have all been bad. Mine have been like Verlaine's and Rambo. There's no way I'd compare all those scenes to this affair. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm doing, staying far behind without you. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm saying, gonna make me give myself a good talking to. I look for you in old Honolulu, San Francisco and Ashtabula. You're gonna have to leave me now, I know. I'll see you in the skies above, in the tall grass and the ones I love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go.
The sky was gray when I woke up this morning. Seems to me that nothing was the same. My situation changed without a warning. The sad thing is, I don't know who to blame. Once upon a time, our love was shining brightly. Maybe it was just too good to last. Oh, I don't know. Perhaps I held too tightly. I had no idea the end would come so fast. Oh boy, she said, she's out of my life, I'm out of my head. So difficult to know which way to choose. She's gone. C'est ça, can I go on? Je ne sais pas. Got to find a way to lose the Paris blues.
Very cool and unique sound. Live in London, local music from Lee Sankey's Cool Grey 5, playing in one of the many blues clubs and bars and places around London. Before I whisk you off to Paris for a few minutes in another smoky blues environment, I need to remind you that in a few minutes we'll be talking to Donovan live, and there's probably a few things that you may not be aware of. If those of you that are lucky enough to recall and probably still enjoy some of the great songs that Donovan wrote, Catch the Wind is one that I particularly can hum along to any day of the week. And what's interesting is that supposedly this was written, as one of many songs were, for the love of his life, which he has now been married to for 35 years. Unfortunately, at the time, she was married to Brian Jones of the Rolling Stones. So, Sunshine Superman, the opening guitar work, is by Jimmy Page. And there are many other things like that you'd be surprised about some of the blues environments. There are some wonderful blues songs on a lot of Donovan albums, particularly Mellow Yellow. It, to me, is majority a blues album. Very good stuff if you want to dip backwards, and too much of it has been so overlooked. But a lot of other connections with songs and people. If you remember back in the days when some of these artists perhaps weren't hugely known, but certainly people knew who Paul McCartney was, and I just mentioned Mellow Yellow, the album. Well, the single, the whisper behind the chorus, is Paul McCartney, and so on. But it's so much easier if I take you there with a quick reminder.
When rain has hung the leaves with tears, I want you near to kill my fears, to help me to leave all my blues behind. For standing in your heart is where I want to be and long to be. But I may as well try and catch the wind. Through my window today, could have tripped out DC way. It'll take time, I know it, but in a while you're gonna be mine, I know it. We'll do it in style, 'cause I made my mind up, you're going to be mine. I'll tell you right now, ain't a trick in a book, and a baby, all that I can find. Everybody's hustling just to have a little scene. When I say we'll be cool, I think that you know what I mean. We stood on a beach at sunset. Do you remember when? I know a beach where, baby, it never ends. When you've made your mind up forever to be mine, I'll pick up your hand and slowly blow your little mind. 'Cause I've made my mind up, you're going to be mine. I'll tell you right now, ain't a trick in a book, and now, baby, all that I can find. Yellow is the color of my true love's here in the morning. When we rise, in the morning, when we rise, that's the time, that's the time I love the best. Blue's the color of the sky in the morning, when we rise, in the morning, when we rise, that's the time, that's the time I love the best. Green's the color of the sparkling corn in the morning, when we rise, in the morning, when we rise, that's the time, that's the time I love the best. Mellow is the feeling that I get when I see her. When I see her, that's the time, that's the time I love the best.
Beat Café and a conversation with Donovan for his 80th birthday.
Let me come in.
If I watch your lover, I'll take you to the sky. If you are feeling love, I will make you high. Let me be your lover, baby, I will be your bird. I can take you anywhere that you wanna go. She's our thoughts in space, that space between us. Our thoughts in space, that space between us. that floats in space, that space between us, that floats in space, that space between us, that floats in space, that space between us, that floats in space, that space between us. Let me come in. Only me, ballet. 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 Only me, ballet.
The ethereal opening track there from the album that we've been playing the last few months, Beat Café, the latest release from Donovan. And we're very fortunate to have Donovan on the phone live with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, America. How are you?
I think we've heard that before somewhere.
Yeah, it's about Arlo Guthrie, my good friend. I'm very pleased to be on your show, Bob, and hello, Atlanta.
Well, you've got a huge crowd of people enjoying some great January weather. It's a very balmy, high 50s, 60 degrees with the sun out here, but probably not quite as nice as where you are.
Well, I'm sitting on an island in Greece, the island of PEYROUX, and we do have sunshine, but the wind blows in the winter, and sometimes it rains, but a very pleasant few days here. I'm finishing up the last editing chores on my new autobiography that's coming out later this year.
Well, that certainly will be something a lot of people will be looking forward to. Many of the major artists have been doing that, and I think it's about time. You surely have an awful lot to say.
Well, my goodness, I'm 40 years in music. It's a birthday for my music, and I'm going to celebrate with the music later on this year, and we're coming to America. There's a tour in the works, but I do have some performances over the summer in festivals in America, and I'm not sure how close I get to Atlanta for these festivals, but it's beginning with Beat Café. As you know, you're playing the new music. I'm very pleased about that. Beat Café is like a preface to my 40th anniversary, because Beat Café explores those early years before I made records in the Bohemian cafes and art world, where I think all the ideas came out of Bohemia and into pop culture in the 60s. So I'm looking forward to returning to work and coming to Atlanta, of course.
Now, I noticed that you were in New York and San Francisco in the fourth quarter of last year. A lot of people actually were remarking to me, because they heard me playing the album, and they were looking at your website or at Appleseed, and were asking me, was I aware of you coming anywhere else? But I think the idea was to stick to those two major cities. And from what I was reading in the various reviews, it was extremely well received, and in fact, particularly in California, sold out well in advance. That must have made you feel good.
Well, it did, and it was a particular kind of venue that I had to find for Beat Café. In fact, I created a Beat Café and began in the Beat City in San Francisco, went to New York, went to Philadelphia, went to Washington. We did Washington, D.C., we did Los Angeles, but I was looking for a Beat Café kind of venue in Atlanta, and I was on the line with people and trying to figure out. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring Beat Café to Atlanta yet. And the whole idea was the waitresses were in striped T-shirts and berets. I was hanging photographs of the Beat poets, Jack Kerouac, Ginsberg, and Burroughs, and I was inviting poets up on stage. There was a small jazz band that I picked up in San Francisco, and it was received very well. And the whole idea and theme was the Bohemian Manifesto, and how all these extraordinary ideas came from the underground into pop culture. So I had a lot of fun. I'm just sorry I wasn't able to make it to Atlanta yet, but there are still some plans to bring Beat Café to Atlanta.
Well, I think you would certainly capture a very good audience. There are a couple of places that I could recommend. The problem is I don't know that they're big enough. They probably hold.
They were very small, these places that I chose, particularly for the reason that beat cafes were small places, and I did have to play a few days, I must admit, in the same city to accommodate all the fans.
Well, I think actually that's even better. My preference is always to be able to hear you certainly in an intimate environment. And this album, to me, created a very intimate environment. It gave me a very feel-good, positive vibe, and it was almost sultry at the same time.
Yeah, thank you. It had many of the elements of the Beat Cafe, the sound, the subjects and the songs. Yeah, and I think the album worked out quite well as an illustration of what I was trying to do.
Now, I noticed that in some of your remarks, the goal was to have Beat Cafe being a view of modern life as seen from Bohemia. Can you try and encapsulate that into something more?
You were saying, I think you were talking about where is the Beat Cafe these days?
Yes.
Well, where is it? That's true, and it's to encourage young people to remember that all these ideas must continue to be discussed among people of good conscience and artistic endeavor. And so the Beat Cafe just may have to be seen today as an internet event. And so all around the World Wide Web, there are communications going on, and there's one site in particular which is called getunderground.com, and I'm sure there are others, so that this dialogue is beginning, but there is some thoughts to actually try to create the Beat Cafe on a DVD. There's talks about it, to actually show new audiences and young people the kind of thing that could be done in cities all over the world. But right now I think it's on the internet that it's beginning.
Isn't that a fascinating concept? And the great thing is that you're out there spearheading along with other people the fact that it is up to the youth to be encouraged to strive to look and see and feel all those different things.
Well, yeah, and it's been a tradition, and every decade, all the way back to 1840 in Paris, that cafe societies have been where all the most important changes have been developed from in every field of art and music and politics even, and radical thought. And so this dialogue has been going on and informing each decade for, as I say, over 200 years. And so this continues to happen in university towns all over the world, but it would be interesting if it could be focused in some way. So that was the theme of the album, and it was a lot of fun making it.
Well, I was at least aware enough of that to preface earlier in the show 4 or 5 pieces of music we were playing ended up with a track by Terry Collier called Paris Blues from his latest album. I thought that would be a very suitable, quiet introduction to what people are about to hear.
And that's great. And I thought I was working in isolation, and then I went on the internet. My goodness, I punched in the word beat, and thousands of sites came up. The Bohemian thing is not at all a historical thing. It's very current. And then I realized books. There were so many books coming out about the Beat generation. Of course, I focused on the Beat generation because it was just prior to the 60s and the 50s that informed us all. Those Beat poets I mentioned, in particular Ginsberg, books were banned. Howl was a poem, was banned. They tried to ban it, I should say. And Lawrence Ferlinghetti, another poet in San Francisco who's still alive and still got the bookshop called City Lights Bookshop. You can go on the web for that. And he championed Howl and took it into the courts in the late 50s, or the mid-50s, and said the word must be preserved and freedom of speech is very important, and they won the case. And in a way, freedom of speech is what we adopted in the 60s, and I brought it into my music, and lots of my friends did too.
Well, certainly we're going to share now some more from that album. We're going to play a piece called Lord of the Universe, which I find to me really hit the beat and the blues all in one groove. So
yeah, it does. And Lord of the Universe, of course, has Danny Thompson on concert bass and Jim Keltner, the maestro drummer, favorite choice of John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ry Cooder, and many others, and myself. So what you have here is two masters, Danny Thompson and Jim Keltner, playing together for the first time on record, and me on acoustic guitar. And yes, it is investigating the New Orleans sound, the influence of jazz and blues on pop music. It's true.
Well, let's give our audience a taste of that. Those of you that have just joined in, good morning. It is 8:38 in the morning here on the 27th of January. You've just tuned in to Good Morning Blues, and we're talking live to Donovan somewhere in the sunny isles of Greece. We're about to hear another piece from his latest release, The Beat Café, which we are exploring this morning. Donovan, hang right there with us while we let the audience enjoy.
Yeah.
It's best you don't mess with me. I'm the Lord of the universe. It's best you don't mess with me. I'm above and below. I'm in your little toe. I'm everywhere you happen to go. I'm within and without, though fools often doubt when they try and work me out. I'm the Lord of the universe. It's best you don't mess around with me. I'm the king of the universe, baby. It's best you don't mess with me. I'll never live and I never die. It's all the same to me. Oh, can you see? 'Cause I'm the Lord of the universe. It's best you don't mess with me, 'cause I'll stomp on you. I can burn your tree. I'm everywhere you happen to be. I'm in the north and I'm in the south. I'm in your sweet honey dripping mouth. Oh, I'm the Lord of the universe. Life force is my name. Yes, I'm the Lord. Yeah, I'm the Lord of the universe. It's best you don't mess with me. I said it's best you don't mess around with me.
That's Lord of the Universe there from the new Donovan album Beat Café, which we've been playing since October, and we have Donovan live with us talking to us about the album, its creation and what he's up to today from Greece. Donovan, that particular piece, like I said, it always gets the groove and the beat and has such a blues to it. But that whole album, in my opinion, can be described so many ways. It's a very inventive collection. There's multiple genres going on there, and yet every piece has a swing to it.
Yeah, this drummer, Jim Keltner, and Danny Thompson, I mean, what a rhythm section. Probably I would say, in the top 5 best rhythm section guys in the world. Jim Keltner's played on countless records, a favorite choice of George Harrison, John Lennon, Ry Cooder. He's called the drummer in the world of music in Los Angeles and the world. It's the world over. Danny Thompson also on that upright bass. But the sound, the smoky, sultry sound of the album does reflect the Bohemian jazz influence, and that's what you're talking about.
Well, it certainly has great impact. They're very, very slick, very crisp, and I think that, to me, the production has always added a platform to the voice of the spoken word, and that's one of the things that really stood out. So
yeah, the poet in the Café Society was probably the most influential. Poets, and with poetry, of course, poetry and music, very important development that came to pop culture. I certainly brought it in as much as I can myself, and could myself then. But of course, meaningful lyrics and serious subjects weren't really part of popular culture until the folk invasion of the charts in 1964 or 5. But with that invasion came all the subject matter out of the Bohemian Café, which we now can discuss on forums all over the world, which is the theme of Beat Café, to try to continue this discussion, the dialogue. Out of the cafes came into pop culture the songs of the civil rights movement, the protest movement, bringing along with it the investigation of ancient cultures, the exploration of the holy plants. We all know what I'm talking about there. Going on to bringing in ecology and world consciousness and feminism, and a complete worldview arrived into pop culture, and that is what the Beat Café influence is.
Well, in Lord of the Universe, actually, you used a word that kind of connects with some of the origins that you've just sprinkled through there, particularly, with some of the environments in Alabama and Georgia. The word, it may not originate from here, but I didn't hear it till I came here, the word stomp, and it's something that's used in a lot of ways here as an adjective. And in fact, last summer, twice actually, I had Eric Burden on the show, and that was a word that he was using that day, talking about a trip to New York and describing some musicians, and told them, boy, just stomp on it. It's a strange thing that you should come up with that word.
Comes out of the African American culture. Most words, hip words, have come from the culture of the African American, and the blues and the jazz. Stomp was actually a description of a kind of a dance, I think, once in the 20s. But I use it in the Lord of the Universe, and I'll stomp on you. And so Eric was on the show, was he? He's an old friend, Eric Burden. And,
yes.
We've seen each other over the years, even since the 60s, and he would use it in that jazz sense, I'm sure, too.
Well, yeah, he does, and what's strange is that you bring up the correct origins, and I'm glad that you were able to do that, because just last week I realized it when I saw that at the fabulous Fox Theatre we have this amazing spectacle musical called Stomp. And
Stomp, there's a musical in town, and that theatre I know very well in Atlanta, the Fox.
Yeah, I mean, the most beautiful place, and so then
I'd love to play there when I come. Well, keep that in mind. Yeah, I will, because I remember it's a beauty. And all these African American idioms, it's strange. There's certain of the tribes that came over with the slave trade, of course, brought with them these idioms, and to actually dig it, man, I dig you, man. The word came from Africa, and it was actually deg, to understand. I truly understand was in the language of some of the tribes of Africa was deg, when you deg something. And of course that entered into the idiom as dig, I dig you, man. And there's countless words that have entered. Stomp is one of them, yeah.
Well, certainly for me, it's always wonderful when we get an interpretation that at the same time it gives me an education. So it's great that you can make that
I just
connection.
love the history of music, and I obviously, it's my world.
Well, that's certainly, like I said, a very good swing to the album. I'd like to have our audience listen to another piece more. Those of you that have just joined us, you're listening to Good Morning Blues on WRFG Atlanta, and we're talking live with Donovan about this new album called Beat Café, which to me is a very positive, feel-good album with a lot of different genres and a very inventive collection of music. So let's...
Yeah, I'd love to mention something here about the whole album was so thematic that it had to be taken to a certain kind of venue to create a cafe style, which I did, and I hope to bring to Atlanta this year. But also I placed it with Appleseed Records, who are a conscious label. Appleseed has Pete Seeger, Roger McGuinn, it has Tom Paxton. They just had lots of film music is brought off Appleseed. Appleseed is a conscious label which is committed to meaningful songs and music, so that was part of the whole theme as well. I think the track you're going to play has the elements of the Latin jazz, and it also mentions, of course, the subject out of the cafes, which I refer to as yin and yang, which is, of course, Zen Buddhism and the Buddhist influence. So I guess that's what you're going to play.
We are definitely going to play, and we're going to give that smoky feel continuation to our listeners right here. So, Donovan, stay with us, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Without a care, there'll be music everywhere. Life without a care, flowers in your hair. In your hair, life without a care. There'll be music everywhere. Life without a care, flowers in your hair. You yin my yang, I'll yang your yin. You be for me. without a care. Flowers in your hair. There'll be music in the air. Flowers in your hair. Life without a care. There'll be music everywhere. Life without a care. Flowers in your hair.
Hi, this is Solomon Burke, and I'm riding the Blues Train on Radio Free Georgia. Soul sounds, rhythm and blues, everything you want to know about the news. It's on the Soul Train tonight. The Blues Train.
Hi, this is Dana Gillespie from London, England, to tell you about the second best way to wake up. Just tune in to UK Bob and his Good Morning Blues show and feel good for 4 hours on WRFG Atlanta.
Donovan, Yin My Yang was what we just played there for our Atlanta audience who are experiencing the Beat Cafe for themselves in drive time traffic. Is it healthy for them?
Hey, I was very fascinated by one of your commercials there. Did I hear Dana Gillespie advertising a blues show? Because
yes.
I know Dana Gillespie. They say I discovered her as an artist all those years ago.
Really?
Amazing.
Well, yes. In fact, that she does the station IDs for my show here on Good Morning Blues, and yes, she did a fabulous job. She has a very good band, and
I know she's doing blues now. I know that. Yes. Well, there you are. It's amazing. Well, you know, I love that you're playing my record. One very the important figure I haven't mentioned makes up the quartet of Danny Thompson on bass and Jim Keltner on drums. My producer, actually, John Chalou, playing the keyboards. But he produced this record. John Chalou is a 3 Grammy Award-winning roots producer, and his fame in the Grammy world has come from the Blind Boys of Alabama. You know about those.
Well, obviously a very large act here, but no, I didn't know that was the connection.
Yeah, Blind Boys of Alabama. And so John Chalou, being the producer, is really part of the quartet musically as well. So I'm sitting here on this island in Greece called Paros, a beautiful island, talking to you all the way over there in Atlanta and Georgia, and I just wanted to say to all you guys and gals driving to work, take care and look out for yourselves on that road. And I'm looking forward to come. I've got the book in the works, as I told you, and it's coming, and a tour at the end of the year. Lots of exciting things, Sony Records box sets, and well, I'm 40 years old in music, and I hope to be speaking to you again, Bob.
Well, certainly, when you get over here, we'd love to have you back again, and I'm sure that we're going to be able to find some spots to create that wonderful atmosphere that is described in the album.
That's right. They're going to create a cafe in Atlanta. I've been right. As I say, it was on the list last year. We didn't get around to doing it. We hope to do that this year. And why don't you ask your listeners to check out my website? It's donovan.ie, at IE for Ireland, donovan.ie, and it'll have all the news of what's going on, and that's the way to keep in touch.
Well, we certainly have been presenting that over the recent weeks when people have made inquiries and we've been playing from the album. We always try and connect people directly with the artist because that's what this station and this program is all about, is bringing material that they're not necessarily going to hear as much as they'd like to on commercial radio, but making them a direct connect with the artist and his material, whether it be connected purely to music or whether it's also art and poetry, and of course, in your
Very
case,
good.
we have all
so
three.
you also have a website, do you? The radio station.
Yes, well, everybody knows that they can drop a note to me at ukbob.com, or they can contact the station directly about any other programs at wrfg.org. And that's how people stay tuned in as to what's about to happen.
Great. What was that website again?
ukbob.com.
And the station, can you hear this program on the internet?
Yes, people are listening in the UK now, for example. Everybody that saw the preview will be sitting on their PCs listening to you in London or Hull.
Fantastic. So where's that again?
WRFG.org.
WRS for sugar, G for George.
F for Frankie. It's Radio Free Georgia.
Oh, Radio Free Georgia. Oh, that's WRFG. WRFG. That's great. I'm just writing it down.
It's that South London pronunciation, you know. If only my mother would.
Right. Well, okay, this is great. Once again, listeners, thank you for listening to my music, and I'm on my way back your way.
Donovan, thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate your time, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you, Bob. See you soon, I hope.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The following is a public service announcement brought to you by one of WRFG's 501c3 supporters. The Kirkwood Neighbors Organization presents the 23rd Annual Kirkwood Spring Fling Festival and Tour of Homes on Saturday, May 16th at Bessie Brenham Park, located at 2051 Delano Drive in Atlanta. The Spring Fling features live music, art, food, kids activities, a 5K road race, the Wing Fling competition, and a tour of homes in the historic Kirkwood neighborhood. The event day kicks off with a 5K road race at 8 a.m., followed by the Spring Fling Festival and tour of homes in the historic Kirkwood neighborhood, both starting at noon. All events will take place rain or shine, and some require tickets. Proceeds from the Kirkwood Spring Fling Festival and tour of homes will be reinvested into the Kirkwood neighborhood to support local schools, parks, and community programs. For tickets and more information, the website is kirkwoodfling.com. That's KIRKWOODFLING.com.
Well, I hope you got a kick out of the Donovan interview. We're running out of time. We've got a couple more quick tracks to throw in there. Any of you planning travel to London or thinking about it, let me give you some tips, things that you don't know. 47% of the space in the City of London is green, parks and gardens and so on. It's $2 to get a travel card, hop on and off, bus or tram, above ground, all day. Nice and easy, very, very affordable. So many amazing things to see. You could spend 6 months and barely touch it. Uber works there too. The tubes service, 450 stations, get within a few hundred yards of where you want to be. There's a few places where there aren't any tube stations. Why? Because there's a pits where 500-600 years ago we had the plague and we had to do mass burials underground. Yes, crazy. What else was I going to tell you? Cold drinks. If you want a cold drink in England, it will be cold, not frozen, not ice cold, just colder than room temperature, okay? If they ask you, would you like ice? They will then say 1 lump or 2, sir. They should do the congestion zone in Atlanta like they do in London. It was brought in the 70s. It costs $50 to cross the line, okay? Only commercial vehicles and residents are allowed. Otherwise, you pay. Keeps all the traffic out of London. Uber works there too. Have a good time. We're going to finish up with a country rock version of Lionel Richie and the Commodores, and Lucas and Willie Nelson doing John Lennon. See you next week.
Stuck on you. I got this feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way. Yeah. I needed a friend, and the way I feel now, I guess I'll be with you till the end. Guess I'm on my way. I'm mighty glad you stayed. Stuck on you. I've been a fool too long. I guess it's time for me to come on home. I guess I'm on my way. Yeah. Oh, it's so hard to see that a woman like you could wait around for a man like me. I guess I'm on my way. I'm mighty glad you stayed. I know just where I'm going. I packed up my troubles and I've thrown them all away. 'Cause this time, little darling, I'm coming home to stay. Well, I'm stuck on you. I got this feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way. Oh, I needed a friend. And the way I feel now, I guess I'll be with you till the end. Guess I'm on my way. I'm mighty glad you stayed. Oh, I'm mighty glad you stayed. Yes, I am. Oh, I'm mighty glad you stayed. Mighty glad you stayed.
People say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing. Well, they give me all kinds of warnings to save me from ruin. And when I say that I'm okay, well, they look at me kind of strange. Surely you're not happy now, you no longer play the game. People say I'm lazy, dreaming my life away. Well, they give me all kinds of advice designed to enlighten me. When I tell them that I'm doing fine, watching shadows on the wall, don't you miss the big time, boy? You're no longer on the ball. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go.
People asking questions, lost in confusion. Well, I tell them there's no problem, only solutions.
Well, they shake their heads and they look at me as if I've lost my mind. I tell them there's no hurry, I am just sitting here doing time.